Junior is back, and it's brought to you by Xfinity 10G Network. Let's look at the questions that you guys have sent in. Andrew, take it away.
Yeah, this first one is from the YouTube chat. They were already chiming in 30 minutes before we went live, so love to see it. This is from John Adams. Do you miss when you could dial up other drivers during the race, during a super speedway especially?
I definitely did not get everything out of that. Like, I probably would have abused it and, you know, keyed up the mic and been like, hey, what you doing? What you thinking about? What's going on? What you doing after the race? That was a dumb move. Hey, man. You know, I would probably not use it as intended, and then probably would have been subsequently removed from everybody else's radios, so that I couldn't reach out to them. I would have probably been. My intent would have been to annoy the hell out of everybody, just for a laugh, and so that's probably good that didn't continue.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
that it's not around today. Now
it's probably a good thing. Yeah.
This second one is from Max Kurtok, and we saw it on your social media this weekend. What did you think about the new driver's eye camera that Fox debuted this weekend?
I thought it was great. You know, I don't love the blurring out the dash. I understand why they want to do it. I really don't know what the information is that they don't want us to see. Maybe there's something they've, I don't know. I don't know what could be on that screen, and I'm sure it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. And if somebody was sitting here right here at the table to tell us, we'd probably go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We don't need to see that, or I understand why you'd want to hide that from us. But there is a, there's a demand for really authentic perspectives in terms of where the cameras are. And there are some that I've loved. There are some that I hate. You remember the gyro cam? We'd go into the corner at Talladega or Daytona, and they would take the camera and turn it, and it really wasn't a true gyro cam. It was just a guy with a joystick twisting the angle of the camera, and it wasn't a self-leveling camera, right? And so it was bullshit. And so, and then there's other camera angles that are just pointless to me. The drone, zooming around. I mean, what the hell is that? Yeah. As many times as we felt like we were going to commercial break, and we come back and we're droning around and not really looking at what's going on. I want to see the freaking race up front. I want to see the cars that are trying to battle for the lead. We're missing shit.
Yeah, you look at the lake half the
time. I love a roof cam. I love a fixed roof cam that doesn't turn, that doesn't move. The reason why is because when that roof cam is locked down and not moving, not panning to look at the car beside or whatever, I can tell when that car is tight or loose. And I can tell when the car has a moment. And that driver's eye camera is just really cool to be able to. It's really kind of what it looks like. It is a great perspective. And I feel like it would be cool if we could kind of get down lower and point it up. I kind of feel like we're looking down into the steering wheel a little bit. They'll work on that positioning, I assume, to get us a better shot out of the front of the car. But it's cool technology.
It was really cool when, I think with Briscoe, he flipped his visor,
yes,
and you could see the dark to what he was seeing. I thought that was really cool.
And Clint pointed that out, man. The harmonics in the car sometimes will make your nose itch or whatever, and or you're just wiping sweat to keep it from running. A lot of times, sweat runs down into your brow. If you don't wipe it, it's going in your eye. It's going in your eye, and that's so. I don't know how many times you lift your visor to do something like that, but it's a great point. It's a great opportunity to see what the drivers are messing with, what they're looking at. You can kind of see them turning and looking their head toward a mirror or whatever, right? And so that's great. I like it. I think sometimes less is better. In this case, it's a good deal.
This next question is this is probably the most asked question I've seen on social media the last couple of weeks, and it's about the North Wilkesboro AllStar race. People want to know if you've considered running in that event.
No. I don't know that I've had an invite to do it. I'm not going to run in it. I am, I'm going to run our late model stock car on Wednesday. The Cars Tour race will be there on Wednesday. There's a super late model race on Tuesday, I believe, a pro late model and a Cars Tour pro and a Cars Tour late model stock race on Wednesday. So two races that day. The trucks, I mean, I would be interested. You know what? I'll tell you this. If the trucks didn't have stages, I would run that race. I'd have already ran at Martinsville if the trucks didn't have stages. But the stages at Martinsville in the truck race, what are they, 40 laps? They beat the shit out of each other. They run over each other and dump each other in every corner. And the stages confine them to being all over the top of each other. You can't get away from each other. The races and the stages and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I probably would run the truck race if I, knew I was going to get a good long run, wear some tires out, sliding around, chance to really put some distance on some people or whatever, right? So that kind of is a turnoff for me, is stages at short races that are already short, the trucks, the Xfinity, and stages at short tracks. It just, to me, none of that works.
And we're already starting to see a little bit of those changes in terms of not throwing a yellow at, I think it's the road courses,
yeah,
right?
I love it.
Would you like to see that everywhere?
Well, hopefully we're trending in that direction, I think that it's I don't know about everywhere. I think at some of the longer races, the stages don't bother me as much. For some of the bigger 500-mile events, I'm kind of okay with the stages. They don't bother me. I don't mind them, but they bother the hell out of me at the short races. A truck race at a short track doesn't need stages. It just doesn't. And for me, it's unnecessary sort of pausing the action of already a very brief event.
Definitely. This next one, we kind of touched on the Daytona 500 a little bit in dirty air. What'd you think of Jimmie Johnson and Travis Pastrana on Sunday? Both of them ran and finished in the top 10.
Damn. I didn't know Travis finished in the top 10.
He finished 11.
Oh, he finished 11. All right.
It's still very good.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you, man. Jimmie surprised me. And I guess he shouldn't. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. But, I was listening to Letarte, Dirty Mo Doe, and he was like, I think that the numbers for Jimmie and the odds for Jimmie and the odds makers are going to favor him. And I think this will be a difficult, the unfamiliar race car and how the draft works with this car is a little bit different. I thought he would struggle. He didn't. He was very patient. Every time anybody gave him an opportunity to take positions, he took them. And methodically, in pure Jimmie style, man, was moving his way into the top 10. He was kind of always sort of lurking off to the side of the edge of the photo, right? And always sort of on the edge of the camera shot in the 6th, 8th, 10th position, and in position for a great run. So good job of Jimmie. And now I'm even more. I think that has me even more excited about the next race he'll run. It'll be a completely different track, completely different experience, completely different techniques and so forth. And I think he'll even maybe have a better opportunity to shine at some of those races. But yeah, he picked up the racing at Daytona in this next gen car really quickly.
Yeah, really fast.
Yeah.
I heard he was talking about like practicing like simulator laps, and he didn't know there was a 5th gear because of the next gen car, and so he ran a whole sim lap in 4th gear. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
but yeah, he adjusted really quick. It seemed like
some drivers had a 6th gear. Did you see that on TV?
Yeah. I was
Larson had
a
6. That's what they say. They call it finding another gear. He found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
He literally, quite literally did. This next one is from Mike Jackson. Have you ever been asked to do SNL? Would that be something you'd like to do?
No. That time has came and went, man. I think if I could have done it, it would have been in 04, 05, 06. I might have gotten asked to do it, and I might have turned it down because I was too scared to do it.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
That might have happened.
Oh, so wait. Oh, that might have happened.
Yeah,
Really?
that might have happened.
What about now? If you were asked to do it, would you do it?
No way.
No
way. If I don't know if this will make sense, and I might sound like a complete asshole, but they would randomly, right? Say, let's go back to 2004, okay, 2005 or something like that, peak of our popularity, we're racing well, Bud deals kicking tail, and everything's good. we'd get a call. Hey, they want, we're going out to Fontana. They want you to do Letterman or Leno or whatever, right? Not Letterman's New York, but they want you to do a late night show. And I'm like, well, I ain't done anything. I haven't won a race. I thought in my mind, like, you did those things when you won the Daytona 500 or when you won a championship or when you had just had this incredible thing happen, wrote a book, whatever, right? You don't just go for the sake of going. And I now know when I watch these shows, like, yeah, they have people just pop on all the time. The guests are coming in and out. And they had Jeff Gordon on late night the other week. But a lot of those people are there to promote a new movie, a new thing, right? And so in my mind, it's like, man, if I didn't feel worthy, I didn't want to do it, because I would go in there and feel like I didn't deserve to be there, didn't belong there. And now that's definitely probably not how I felt about the Saturday Night Live invite. Honestly, I don't really remember whether we got one or not, but it feels like we might have gotten one years ago. It was almost 20 years ago. And I would absolutely have turned it down out of pure fear of doing it, right? And then Jeff does it, and I'm thinking, damn, that's one thing that Jeff had the balls to do that I probably didn't have the balls to do it. And so, kudos to him. And he did a great job, right?
Yeah.
He got out of there in one piece. Yeah. But I was terrified. I'm gonna tell you, man, I've never been more scared in my life. I got asked to introduce Linkin Park at the MTV Music Awards, and I was kicking and screaming like heels in the dirt, like getting shoved toward the door to go in there. I'm like, no! And my PR guy Jade, he's like, you got to do this. This is gonna be so good for you. But the Bud people are behind this. You have to do it. Like, you've got to go do this. This is going to be important. Of course, after the fact, when you're done, you're like, that was awesome. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad I did this. Thanks for making me do this. You're thrilled. But, man, going into it, you're terrified of it. You're like, I don't have to do this. I don't need this. I don't want this in my life. Like, I don't want to be up here. And I was in this little tube, and they were going to spin me around, and then that'd be facing the audience, right? And they spin me. Actually, when I walked up there and backstage with Beyonce, and this is 2001 or something, but it was a long time ago. But man, we're backstage. Luckily, there's all these stars around, and one of the crew, one of the guys that's like pulling the curtain or whatever, right? There's all these stars around, and the crew guy walks up to me and he's got a die cast, and I was like, of all these people here. Like, they're big mega stars, and you're like, hey, man, I can't get yours. Yeah. That right before I was getting ready to go on stage, and that really helped.
That's good.
That kind of pumped my ego a little bit to make me feel like, okay. But, man, when I spun around and saw all those musicians and stars staring back at me, I was like, how did I get here?
Yeah. It's like, wow.
What am I doing here? It was terrifying.
Isn't it funny how, like, those moments, like, how would, like, the fear of that compare to anything racing?
Nothing. No.
Yeah.
So
isn't that funny?
Yeah. Racing's not scary until, you're flying out of control.
I guess the nerves then.
Not it. I will say it's comparable to probably how you feel like right before you go qualify.
Right.
Qualifying used to be pretty scary because it was like, you were going to go, all right, man, we're going right to the edge.
Yeah.
In the race, you don't go right to the edge till certain moments, and you have all day to understand just how close you can get to that edge. In qualifying, you got to go to the edge right away, and you don't know, you might go too far, you might slip off the edge, but it has to happen. You have to go to the edge right away. You don't get to work up to it. Like, you don't have 400 miles from 500 miles to find the edge. And so qualifying for me, I was always more nervous for qualifying than the race itself.
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good place to end this week.
Okay, all right. Great questions. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Xfinity. Always a lot of fun. We had Steve Letarte come in today for our Dirty Air segment. Mike Davis is under the weather a little bit, so we're thankful for Steve, and thankful for Xfinity 10G network. 10G, man, they skipped a bunch. They went right to 10.
Doubled it.
Yeah. Check it out. It's fastest internet. I mean, probably the fastest ever. Even faster speeds rolling out every day. It's the next generation of high-speed network from Xfinity.
All right, and we are out.
All right.